Hey there, Zenabis and HEXO traders and investors. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back in the Pursuit of Wealth for a Zenabis and HEXO update video. Today is Thursday, May 13th, and today was the Zenabis shareholder meeting, which was approved. We'll look at this article and what to expect in the future and when we can expect this deal to close. We'll look at some other news on the day for HEXO, and then we'll look at the Zenabis and the HEXO charts and what to expect and what my plan is going forward. But before we do, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. So Zenabis had the shareholder meeting today that was approved for the HEXO merger, and this is pursuant to all the applicable laws in the Business Corporations Act in British Columbia. So HEXO will acquire all of the issued and outstanding common shares of the company in exchange for 0.01772 of common share of HEXO for each company share. So they also passed the ordinary resolution with HEXO debenture conversion resolution, approving, if applicable and required, the issuance of more than 213 million company shares upon the conversion of 19.5 million unsecured convertible debenture issued by the company dated as of February 16, 2021. So the total number of company shares represented by the company shareholders present in person or represented by proxy at the meeting was 354 million, representing approximately 39.04% of issued and outstanding company shares as of April 7, 2021. So you can see here the arrangement resolution of 97.9% in favor of, and the debenture conversion 96.5% in favor of. So only 2% and 3% voted against respectively. So approval of the arrangement resolution was a condition precedent to the completion of the arrangement. Completion of the arrangement remains conditional upon approval of the Supreme Court of British Columbia, the court, and certain other customary closing conditions. So the application for the final order for the court is anticipated to be heard on May 18th. So we should have some update on that next week on Tuesday. Closing of the arrangement is expected to occur on or about June 1st. So we should see, if you're wondering when your shares of Zenabis are going to convert into HEXO shares, likely going to be at the beginning of June. And further information regarding the arrangement is set out the management information circular of the company dated April 9th, 2021, and you can find under the company profile as well on SEDAR. So moving on, HEXO had some news today, and in my opinion, this is extremely bullish. We've been seeing a lot of news coming out about base shelf and the at-the-market offering, and that, in my opinion, has everything to do with this news that we had today. So HEXO Corp and REC announced brand partnership for Powered by HEXO, expansion into the United States. So REC will assist HEXO as it continues to expand its footprint, and they are a leader in digital marketing and brand reputation. As we know, HEXO is leading innovation and leading in brands. Their brands are second to none, and they continue to expand its footprint in the U.S. and ramps up support for the growth initiatives of Trust CBD USA, its joint venture with Molson Coors, and a potential non-beverage CPG partners with whom the company is ongoing discussions with. So let's see if we get some information. We're starting to see everything sort of align, and we're starting to see brand companies that they're working with in terms of branding and expanding, and we're seeing company raising money, and it's only a matter of time, in my opinion. I think it's not too far around the corner before we find out who this new CPG partner is in the non-beverage category. REC has become well known for working with some of the world's most recognizable brands and companies, and just to look at a few here, we have StubHub, eBay, Amazon, MasterCard. Very, very well-known company, and has worked with extremely well-known other customers and companies as well. So REC will evaluate HEXO's brand present on and offline in the U.S. market and involve the Powered by HEXO brand. And they have become well-known with working with some of the world's leading brands and companies, and we are thrilled to join forces with the award-winning team to help accelerate the growth of Powered by HEXO technology and other U.S.-based market opportunities, said the CEO, Sebastian St. Louis. So they're preparing for an exciting period of expansion and growth in the U.S. This engagement continues REC's long history of defining, connecting, and protecting the world's most forward-thinking and innovative brands. And I would have to agree that HEXO is the epitome of forward-thinking and innovation, as we've seen that time and time again throughout this small nascent industry that has still really yet to flourish. We have built our reputation around owning what's next and are proud partner with HEXO, who sits at the nexus of technology and innovation in the market that they are helping to shape, said Rex. So even the CEO of REC, Chip Donnelly, agrees that HEXO is just award-winning innovation, forward-thinking and innovative brands, and just an overall fantastic company to work with. We are looking forward to supporting HEXO and its growth in U.S. operations and branding. So again, check out REC for more information on that. You can check out the rec.co/work for all of their previous companies and use cases, case studies. So taking a look at Zenabis on the daily time frame, we knew to be watching for daily consolidation at some point, and we didn't break the low of the previous daily candle. It had been going on since April 21st. So when we lost the low of the day on May 10th, on the 11th, that was the signal of daily consolidation. And we also had resistance at 15.5 cents. I told multiple members that it was time to be cautious. We hit 15 cents. We were right at resistance after coming from 9 cents. So we ran 70% basically without a higher low and a trend change. And then I said to be careful because of that resistance. And here we are down to, and I also targeted the 11 to 11.5 cent range, down 25%. But now we're looking for a daily higher low and a possible daily trend change. If we break 15 cents from here, that's going to confirm a daily uptrend. And that is what we want to see if we're going to set these weekly bottoms. And at this point, Zenabis can also be working on a weekly trend change, which HEXO is in the midst of doing as well. HEXO already changed its daily trend, but on this recent pullback from the market weakness in SPY, the SP 500, check out my broader market video from earlier today on some direction and coverage of the broader market. But you can see HEXO is pulling back with the broader market, and we were in a daily uptrend. We lost 16, 17 supports, so we lost the daily uptrend. Now we're back into flat. We're not in a downtrend either, but we're looking for a higher low compared to 502. So from here, we would need to break 753 to be back in a daily uptrend. But it's not the end of the world. We knew that we were eventually going to top out and seeing a little bit more than a pullback, a little bit more than we would like to see. But again, we can't really control the market and the overall broader market. But we'll want to see us close above EMA 26 here on the weekly, at least at 588. So we closed at 584. So if we can close the day tomorrow over 588, that's going to be bullish in my opinion. But we're just looking for a higher low compared to 502. And then if we break 753, that's a weekly uptrend and a daily uptrend confirmed. We also have earnings coming up the third week of June as per TradingView here. I did not vet that date specifically, so don't quote me on that. But we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross here of these exponential moving averages. And if that were to occur, we would likely be heading down to the 550 area or maybe even 502 support. But wouldn't want to see us lose $5, as that would continue the weekly downtrend. And we could be heading to daily oversold if we do get extreme here. And again, the S&P 500 didn't change its hourly trend, so we're not 100% confident that the daily bounce is going to take place and that this dip is for buying. If we can change the hourly trend on the S&P 500 and on HEXO, that's going to mark these temporary bottoms, and then we'll look at daily trend changes and weekly trend changes, which we know is required to see any real long-term, sustainable price action to the upside. If we're in a weekly downtrend, it's going to be, every bounce is going to be that much harder to break through resistance, right? It's much easier to break through resistance and get to new price discovery, right? When you're in a daily, weekly, monthly uptrend, if you're looking to go long a stock, you want to see as many uptrends as possible. If you want to go short a stock, you want to see as many downtrends as possible. And with HEXO being in a monthly uptrend, trying to hold the EMAs here as well. So we are halfway through the month essentially, and we failed to close above EMA 26. If we can close this month over EMA 26, that's going to be the first time since the all-time highs. And I wouldn't be surprised if over the next few months we close above it and we see some massive action in both HEXO and the Zenabis chart. But also, HEXO, if you're wondering why Zenabis topped out, we had resistance there at 15.5 cents, and it's also just playing catch up to HEXO, right? And that discount from buying HEXO versus Zenabis, it was basically down to less than 5% again today. So the more we run into that And I suspect it'll be even lower tomorrow because we found out of that approval. But look at Tilray and Aphria leading up right to the day before the conversion took place and APHA was delisted. The discount was less than 1%. So I suspect that to narrow even further from here. But all about working on daily uptrends and weekly uptrends from here. That is the best case scenario for the bulls. But Zenabis, if we can close the week above 12 cents, that will be bullish in my opinion. The stochastic is already cross bullish, and the MACD isn't too far off from a bull cross either. So it's looking pretty good on the weekly time frame. We're holding the 50 weekly moving average, which is sitting at 9 cents. So again, that's key support now that we have at 9 cents for Zenabis. And I personally sold pretty much 95% of my Zenabis shares for HEXO because that discount was so small today, and unloaded most of those shares. A lot of people in our group are doing that as well, just because, you know, there's no real benefit of owning it over HEXO, and HEXO could have news with a new CPG partner. You just never know when that news could drop. So taking a look at the daily time frame, we are saving the 100-day moving average at 11 cents, and we closed back above it, closed at 12. So if we do see further weakness, again, we also have the 200-day moving average at 9 cents as well. So a lot of support there at the 9 cent area. And I would be surprised if we lost it. We also bounced off the weekly VWAP, which is at 11 cents. So 11 and 9 cents are going to be key supports here. And we'll want to close the week over 11 cents as well. Just taking a look at HEXO on the weekly. So again, we're starting to see the stochastic trend and cross bullish, but the MACD still yet to have that bull cross. And if we can close the week over 651, that is going to be extremely good to see. But we're not trending in the right direction here now. We got one more day left in the week, so we got some work to do. And taking a look at HEXO here on the weekly. So again, we are topping out at the weekly 100 weekly moving average. So if we can close a week above that, that's going to be extremely notable. And we do have the 50 weekly moving average down at 449 if we do lose 5 support. And just taking a look here now, not sure what happened there to my screen. I think I hit the wrong button, but taking a look at the daily moving averages. So we've got the 200-day moving average on HEXO down at 477. So we got 449, the 50 weekly moving average, and then we've got the 200-day moving average down at 477. So if we do lose $5, we've also got this gap on the chart here from back on January 5th, which is at 420. Hard to forget that number and that gap fill. So if we do lose $5, we'll be looking at 477, and then we'll be looking at 449, and then that gap fill at 420. And it can always go a lot lower than you think. Market makers are not making it easy, and a lot of support there, just under $5. So we haven't tested the 200-day moving average on HEXO since this big bull move began. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did test it, confirm support, and then we blast off into new highs. And again, news can change that. We'll see any day really. And I've got a feeling, I can feel it in my bones. It's coming soon. Let me know in the comments below if you think that it's going to be happening soon. Who do you think they're going to be potentially partnering with? Love to hear from you. I think it's going to be Nestle's a good one. Somebody made a good point that Nestle has a stake in L'Oreal, and they keep mentioning edibles and cosmetics. So that's a potential option. I think that one's a really good one. Another one as well. One of their management team used to work for PepsiCo. We know PepsiCo is experimenting with hemp rockstar in Germany, and Malta is with the Zenabis facility, which Trent said that they now have the ability to export in the EU, and he mentioned specifically Germany, and also Mars Corporation. So we could see a potential partnership with them as well, but they did say outside of the beverage industry. So doesn't mean that we can't see more partners in the beverage industry in the future, but at least not in the short term, in my opinion. I don't think so. So going to end it there. Again, all about daily uptrends on Zenabis and weekly uptrends on Zenabis and HEXO. And we'll be watching $5 support on HEXO, and the overall broader market is likely going to dictate. Also, keep in mind we could see some information about safe banking. Well, not safe banking. We know that that's probably going to be taking a back seat now because they're going to be pushing for full legal, prohibition, removal of prohibition and legalization, because that will give them a better chance. If they propose the Safe Banking Act and that act at the same time, they might just approve the Safe Banking Act, which in my opinion is going to hurt MSOs in the short term and will provide volume and benefits to the LPs because they'll be still listed on major exchanges, and it's going to be that much longer for the MSOs to be listed on the NYSE or the NASDAQ. So thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you tomorrow after market close.